We have risen from the ashes to school the masses. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 211 of the Scholars of Wrestling Show, aka the Extreme Rules Prediction Show. This is Scholar Tarek, and to my right is your reigning, defending, undisputed Scholars of Wrestling champion, Scholar Jeff. But you honestly wouldn't tell because, Jeff, where is your Scholars of Wrestling championship?
A certain douche concluded the ending of the last episode by stealing what is rightfully mine. Not mentioning any names, Scholar douche.
What better introduction than the man who, he's right, stole that said Scholars of Wrestling championship, you son of a bitch, Scholar Brian.
You got his name wrong. It's Scholar douche.
The master of douchery.
You think
has
that
returned.
hurts me? It actually fills me with pride that you call me that. Now
That's marketing. That's accurate marketing.
now, okay. I'm a little tired this week, today. A little bit of a food coma, you see, because I just came from an Italian restaurant with a very good friend of our very own Scholar Jeff.
Yes, we all saw the photos that went up over the weekend. You took the belt and you threw it in the fridge. Good
And then
job.
I
And
then I took that belt out of the fridge. I bought it to the Italian restaurant, and now it's my best friend.
Well, you know
Don't
what?
worry,
You need
it's
to
being
earn your
kept-
friends around here.
Don't worry about it. It's in a safe place.
This is honestly why I decided to take centerfold, because if you were in the center of this one, I think just even before the episode would start, you would have those hands around wherever your neck is.
There's a reason this is here.
Nobody
knows where it is.
I thought you were just going goat face.
Nobody knows where it is. That's it.
Oh, but if we did.
And there's also another reason why I'm taking centerfold in this one. If you followed our Twitter machines this week, you could have seen a heated discussion between the three of us. And it looks like the Scholars of Wrestling champion here has decided to induct the one clause of the Scholars of Wrestling Championship rules and decide to put the title on the line at Extreme Rules against only Scholar Brian.
Yes, and the reason why, just to make it completely clear, is that, again, we all know of your pedigree as a champion. We all know that you are the current holder of the Scholars in the Bank briefcase.
I am.
You got your path to the title if you so choose. So for you, this time, there's no free lunches. Right now, I'm going to give you this one and only opportunity. This is your last shot at the title as far as I'm concerned.
And that's all I wanted. As I said in our little Twitter war, if you will, over the weekend, I put it out there. Okay, I was listening to you two going back and forth last week, and all I heard is, give me a reason why I should defend the title. Why I'm not gonna defend the title at Extreme Rules. Why should I defend the title at Extreme Rules? And just at the end of the show, I just couldn't take it anymore. So I grabbed it and I gave you a reason. Okay, so that's all it was. Okay,
And you know
disrespect at the time was meant. It really was.
And you know what? As much as I applaud your chutzpah, sir, you know what? Extreme rules come with extreme risk. And if you don't pull it through this time, then I'm going to call it. You're not going to get your shot again at that belt.
Well, you got to give it to him. He did take an extreme risk.
Well, there it is.
And now he has to
deal
risk it. And
as
as you will put it, he has to deal with the extreme consequences of his extreme risk.
So let's roll into this thing.
So let's go right ahead in the Scholars of Wrestling Extreme Rules Prediction Show. Let's kick it off with the kickoff match with a tables match. The New Day goes against Sanity. So let's start with the champion, Jeff. Who do you got for this match?
Sanity. They need the push. They're due. Plus, let's face it, this tables match is going to be pre-show. It's going to be a great appetizer. It's not the regular casual audience isn't going to care much who goes through tables as long as they're going through tables. And Sanity needs the rub. Therefore, I call Sanity to win.
And you know what? For this first pre-show match, I will agree. Because Sanity is brand new. I'm not counting that Usos shit. I'm not counting that this... And this is a match that is... It's basically for Sanity. A tables match for a group of guys who are coming in, acting all insane. They put them through the tables, and New Day, and I feel like New Day at this point is the team to get other teams over. At this point, and Sanity needs a win to establish themselves after what the Usos did to them on SmackDown. So, yes, agreed. This needs to happen for Sanity.
And it's going to go for 3 here. I'm also going to go with Sanity, there's nothing more else what you guys said. Sanity needs the win here. And the fact that it's a table match, no member of the New Day has to be pinned on this one. So in WWE standards, New Day won't get hurt by this. Sanity hasn't had a win yet on the main roster, and they are in desperate need of a win to be taken seriously.
Mm-hmm. Well, at least that's one thing we can all agree on.
Who else was thinking that on Tuesday, when it was this 10-man tag match, it looked like Daniel Bryan was just looking into a mirror when he was wrestling Eric Young?
They always thought that Eric Young was at least like a foot taller.
You get what I'm saying here, though?
Mm-hmm.
The whole...
I do, but I never thought... I never looked at the two and was like, this is a thing.
The beard versus the beard of another wrestling brand. Goatface versus... Did he have... Youngface. Did he have a nickname? I don't know.
I don't freaking know.
There's another thing we can agree on.
I don't watch the Tina.
I was like, did he have an... Okay. Young. Sanity. Need the win. All right, now moving on to the main show itself. Let's get started with the United States Championship. We got Jeff Hardy defending against Shinsuke Nakamura.
Talking about people who need a win.
Let's go with you, Brian. Who is your prediction in this one?
Needs to be Shinsuke. Needs to be this heel turn already for me is not working. The storyline with AJ Styles didn't work for me, as everybody who watched this show knows. It didn't. I still think it did nothing for Shinsuke. But that's just me. We've gone over it too many times to count. But for me, he needs a title. He needs a title now. And heel out on Jeff Hardy, get that title, and have Shinsuke have a run as the United States champion. And a Shinsuke Nakamura United States Championship run with the character he's playing now could be great money for WWE. So I want it, and I want it at Extreme Rules.
I'm gonna go with Shinsuke Nakamura as well, because in all honesty, I think he was supposed to win the title pre-dog bite. Shinsuke really needs something. Like what Brian said, he needs something from this heel turn. And if he loses another title match, even if it is the mid-card title, it would just hurt him in the long run. And as of right now, Jeff Hardy's not really doing much with the United States Championship to begin with. Maybe it's just because of his injured leg or whatnot. But I feel Shinsuke definitely needs the win here.
As much as I love a good Shinsuke match, I feel like, yes, he does need the title. Yes, he does deserve the title. But I'm not convinced it's going to happen at Extreme Rules. I feel like it's just not the right time. If there's one thing that Shinsuke Nakamura is used to doing, as known for in the modern day, it's elevating mid-card titles, making them mean something. So I think that they're going to let this go for another month, put him in some sort of stipulation at SummerSlam, give them these guys a good platform. Shinsuke can go, Jeff Hardy can go, give these guys a much bigger platform, make this a big part of a bigger angle, and give Shinsuke Nakamura the strap at SummerSlam. But for now, I'm calling Jeff Hardy to retain.
It's kind of disappointing to hear you say that, especially with
I didn't expect that to be one of the ones we differed on.
Well, what is life if not full of surprises? Full of surprises.
And you would know about the surprise of the century.
All right.
God, you could just
gotta
I
do
could
what
just
you gotta
feel
do.
the tension between them, and I'm just loving every second of it. That's why
Let's keep this train going.
That's why I'm going to take the back seat on this one. I'm just enjoying this.
Yeah, whatever.
So
we got another one.
next we have quite possibly the most worthless match on the card, in my opinion. We got Finn Balor versus Constable Baron Corbin, and this is a copy paste of what Daniel Bryan and Big Cass apparently was supposed to be. I see this match actually continuing on to SummerSlam, and the only way to really have that is I'm going to pick Baron Corbin to win this one, but it's obviously going to be some kind of shenanigans on this to keep this feud going and actually hopefully gain some meat out of this.
I'm going to go with Finn Balor, basically because Baron Corbin has a pinfall victory over Finn Balor. Finn Balor got the better of Baron Corbin in a segment. So this match is worthless. Nobody cares about this match.
I feel like this match
and really,
on the pre-show.
And really what I'm doing, I'm just gonna be that guy. Who do I like more? Finn Balor. So there you go.
Why are we just now agreeing on things? Okay, seriously, Finn Balor, this whole thing reads to me as just a layover until either one of these guys can move on to something bigger, or at least more appropriate for both of them. Another thing I agree with you on, this one really should have been on the pre-show instead of New Day versus Sanity in a friggin' tables match.
At Extreme Rules.
Yeah, we're so extreme, only our pre-show is extreme.
I wouldn't say that just yet, but before we get there, let's go on to the Raw Tag Team Championship with the Deleters of Worlds versus the B Team. B meaning best. All right, Fool, who do you have on this one?
The Deleters of Worlds. They're due. The setup clearly reflects this. And let's face it, do we really see the B Team, as for all their build and all their time they've been getting, do we really see them legitimately winning the tag titles? The answer is no. No, we do not. Got nothing more to say. Bray and Matt retain.
We are definitely in an episode of the Twilight Zone because once again, we agree on something. Because as much as the B Team looks badass in that photo behind us, okay, that is not who they portray on on the television screen.
You would think they would want to put them in like the fake Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy gear.
Yeah. It's like they look so badass. Like you would expect that to be a team that would be able to win. But we know better because we know how they're portrayed on TV. And the fact that they've built this up as a comedy thing the entire time tells me that this isn't really a serious thing. So why should I expect a serious shot for the B team?
Bo Dallas looks like a lost member of Milli Vanilli, and Curtis Axel looks like he just smelled a fart.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see the fart one at least.
And knowing what we know about what's probably coming at SummerSlam for the tag team championships, yeah, the Leaders of Worlds are taking this one.
3 for the Leaders of Worlds. It's kind of funny that even though they're trying to push them as this unstoppable newly refurbished tag team, they're kind of like bringing back something old when it comes to Curtis Axel, and that's pretending to be another gimmick. First, we had Axelmania, which I miss.
A little bit.
After watching these segments, I really do miss Axelmania. But yeah, and Bo Dallas he plays his brother really well.
At least that's somewhat amusing, just because of the family relation.
Indeed, but yeah, again with what Brian said, with what the plans are for SummerSlam, yeah, it looks like they're gonna have the Leaders of Worlds retain the tag titles on this one. All right, now we're moving on to back to a SmackDown match. We got the SmackDown Women's Championship. We have Carmella versus Asuka. Okay, Brian, what do you got?
If Asuka loses again, I'm done with Asuka. Like she's not the way they've booked her since WrestleMania. Holy shit, it's been so bad. And really, if they don't give her the title here, I don't see her having it for a long time. I still think they're trying to set up either Asuka versus Becky. They're setting up something for Becky Lynch to challenge at SummerSlam. That's why she's getting all these victories right now and all that. And as much as I would love to see an easy victory for her over Carmella at SummerSlam, I'd rather see... It's more of a fanboy thing. I'd rather see Becky Lynch versus Asuka for the title at SummerSlam. So I'm going to go with Asuka here basically for that. And if she loses twice to Carmella in a row, I don't know how in my eyes you come back from that.
Well, you also got to think of the fact that James Ellsworth is going to be lifted up in a shark cage for this one. Now that they hinted at some kind of spray, I guess it's a hairspray that James Ellsworth sprayed in Asuka's face that may come into play at Extreme Rules. But when it comes to the actual prediction, I'm also going to go with Asuka on this one because how they've been booking things. Well, one thing, Carmella's been kind of taking a back seat on this feud because now it's more focusing on Asuka versus James Ellsworth. But with how things are even going with that, it always ends up with Carmella always the one coming up on top of things. She's always the one standing tall.
With Carmella on top.
Big Cass wouldn't know anything about that right now, would he? But again, it's Carmella. She's the one standing tall with the belt held high. She's the one that's looking strong in this feud. And they're just... the momentum's got to go back to Asuka. As like you said, since WrestleMania, she's really lost some momentum. And I think I've made it perfectly clear on this show that Carmella is not where she's in a position she doesn't deserve it. James Ellsworth is helping her getting a more focus for her character, but it's still the fact that I don't want her as SmackDown Women's Champion anymore. I feel like she doesn't deserve to be SmackDown Women's Champion anymore. And Asuka desperately needs this win.
I've been saying it for years. I love Asuka. I've loved her since way before she got finally hired by WWE at long last. That being said, I'm going to go with Carmella here because I hate all of you. Next match.
Is that real? Is that really where you're going to go with? Is there actually a legit reason other than your hatred towards us?
Well, that, and if you want to get technical about it, just the idea of James Ellsworth being in a shark cage and the fact that they completely introduced Chekhov's gun here in the form of the hairspray. And every single time we've done a shark cage match, there's always been some kind of shenanigans happening or something gimmick happening with the shark cage, with either, someone oiling up and slipping out or someone dropping something from the cage.
Who's oiled up?
Didn't
Enzo
did that? Yeah.
Oh, that's right. He was in a
Enzo
shirt.
oiled up and just dropped down to his skivvies, and it was just drop out, and then Jericho. Then Jericho dropped something from the cage, and it was something like that. And
I feel like the hairspray will be put into play, but I see Asuka using that, if anything, on James Ellsworth.
Either way,
taking him out of the equation so Carmella can actually try and do something big, but then gets put in the Asuka lock and taps out.
Either way, I'm way too convinced that there's going to be way too many shenanigans that can happen with the shark cage gimmick or something. I'm just personally not convinced yet that they're not going to wait until SummerSlam to make something big happen. So yeah, I'm going with Carmella for all those reasons and the fact that you all suck.
You stole the belt, and yet he's taking it out on me too.
No,
he remembers all
you've
the
also
shit
been talking more trash than both of us put together. You had it coming.
I'm not just talking trash. I'm talking truth. That's what I'm talking.
You're talking opinions.
No, I'm talking facts.
Keep rubbing your briefcase in the corner.
I'm sorry. Who is the only one of us that's been Scholar of the Year? Who's the only one of us who's been who's been the
We've
Royal
only
Rumble
been
game?
tracking it for a year.
Who's the only one of us that's been a Royal Rumble game winner?
And who's the one who always has to make notice of that?
Because it's
desperately compensating for something.
I'm compensating that I am the best one here. That's what I'm compensating. And now moving from one women's match. Right now, I don't need the belt to prove how awesome I am. I moved from one women's match to the next women's match, which is the only Extreme Rules match on the card for WWE Extreme Rules, and that is Alexa Bliss defending her title against Nia Jax. Fool, who do you got?
Bliss.
We know where this is going. It's going to be Bliss versus Rousey at SummerSlam. So Alexa Bliss. Anyone who says anything different is a moron. So don't do it. Don't do it, dude in the middle. Don't do it. He's got to do it.
Just think about it. Don't you want to see the fear in Alexa Bliss's eyes once Ronda Rousey shows up and gets her all nice and cornered? Don't you want to see that?
Oh, as much as I want to see it, I see WWE is not going to do anything like that. So I'm going to pick. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to pick. I'm picking Alexa Bliss too. This one's clear as day as what's going to happen. They're building for Alexa Bliss versus Ronda Rousey.
I was about to smack you.
You really thought I was going to choose Nia Jax?
I could see you just trying to be comic relief in the middle and it not working, and it's the one thing we both agree on to smack you in the head as you said Nia Jax.
I would be that kind of asshole that would do that. Moving on, we got the steel cage match between Braun Strowman and Kevin Owens. Man, this was one of the hardest matches for me to decide, because when you look at the entire feud between Kevin Owens and Braun Strowman, it has been nothing but a one-sided feud. everything that's been going on, Braun Strowman has done something to make Kevin Owens' life a living hell. And now we have the steel cage match, which Kurt Angle says, now you have nowhere to run. This was a really hard match for me because I'm just thinking, okay, it's a steel cage match. They just could pull a Big Show Stone Cold Steve Austin bit and just have Braun Strowman throw Kevin Owens out of the cage and he automatically wins. But because Braun Strowman is one of the most popular things going on in WWE right now, and as much as Kevin Owens, I actually think he desperately needs to win here with how much he's been getting absolutely annihilated by Braun Strowman. I'm going to go with Braun. Kevin Owens needs to win, but Braun Strowman is on a high rank of WWE right now, and I think he's in an undefeated streak right now, and I think he's going to keep that undefeated streak going. Fool.
Braun Strowman is going to eat Kevin Owens like a Wawa sandwich.
What's in it?
It's a turkey, ham, and Swiss.
And he kind
goes down smooth.
Vinaigrette?
No, mayonnaise and mustard 50-50 split.
Avocados?
No avocados.
Aww.
Just lettuce and onions.
I do like lettuce and onions. Olives?
No olives.
Aww.
Ron doesn't like olives.
How do you know that?
Because we hang out at Wawa's. What do you think?
I want to go.
That's how he knows he eats Wawa sandwiches. Get the net, Tarek.
I know Braun Strowman likes to eat raw meat, but Wawa sandwiches is new for me. I want to see the commercials
of the universe.
Now I want to see a commercial with Braun Strowman just walking in eating a Wawa sandwich.
Sometimes
he just walks it. He just grabs it from one guy's hand and just takes a bite out of it, like how he grabbed that one piece of cake.
Meh. And just stares him in the eyes as the other guy quivers in fear. He just says, "No one will ever believe you." And he just walks off eating his Wawa sandwich. Logo: eat Wawa.
Eat Wawa. You may get a scarf.
Yes.
Brian?
The only way Kevin Owens wins is, I agree with you, if he gets thrown through the cage. But I am going with Braun Strowman because he's just on too much of a roll right now. Vince McMahon has the biggest... you thought he had a hard-on Roman Reigns, but this dude... anything that Braun Strowman is in, Braun Strowman beasts and wins at this point. So I don't go into a match with Braun Strowman in it unless it's against Brock Lesnar. If Braun Strowman's in the match, I learned this at Money in the Bank. If Braun Strowman's in the match, Braun Strowman wins.
Unless Roman Reigns is in the match too. We learned that at Elimination Chamber.
Yeah. But he's not now, is he? So Braun Strowman wins.
I'm just saying that just because Braun Strowman's in a match doesn't mean he has to win every time. Unless that's only true when Roman Reigns is not in the match with him.
And Brock Lesnar.
Hey,
I brought up one. That's fine.
You think Bobby Lashley would be put in that category too? If those two ever fought?
No. Braun Strowman would eat him.
I'm not going there.
Braun Strowman would eat him like a different Wawa sandwich.
No,
I was going to say like a whoopie pie.
Let's face it, he's a brownie.
Yes.
And I'm going to stick with the whoopie pie, and the white part of the whoopie pie is his teeth. Them pearly whites.
Yeah. Also not wrong.
Yeah, exactly. I win. All right, moving on. We got the match I'm looking forward to the most, the 30-minute Iron Man match for the Intercontinental Championship. We got Dolph Ziggler versus Seth Rollins. Brian, who do you have?
I want Dolph Ziggler to win because I want Seth Rollins to move on to the Universal Championship race, and also
if that ever comes back.
But I want Dolph Ziggler to win because they started this thing with him and Drew McIntyre. It's been going so well. Why take the title off them? How long has it been? 3 weeks?
About, yeah.
They've had it. Why take the title off of that immediately when there's so many things you can do with it? So they have the caveat of Drew McIntyre out at ringside. I can see someone coming out to help to
lunatic
to possibly, but anybody coming out to assist in curtailing Drew McIntyre, and during the melee and the scrum, Dolph Ziggler comes up from behind and steals,
or maybe a returning Jason Jordan,
and steals the win. But I just don't think you move the title, the Intercontinental title, this quickly. Especially the way they've been building up Ziggler and McIntyre, and they gave them the title. Why take it away from that when you can have Seth Rollins move on to something bigger? Like this is the end of the road for him with the Intercontinental title for now. That's how I feel about it.
I do agree with you on all of that. Seth Rollins definitely needs to move on to something bigger and better. Unfortunately, I don't think he'll get anything bigger and better, even though, in all honesty, he is the top guy going on Raw right now. And with the Universal title gone, the Intercontinental Championship is the title to go for. And it's definitely had his prestige brought back. And I do agree with you with that. I don't think they're going to be hot potatoing the title right now. So I'm going to go with Dolph Ziggler as well. And the one thing that bothered me with this past week on Raw is that Seth was trying to show hints of maybe some kind of, what's the word? Friction between Drew and Dolph. I hope that actually leads to nothing, because right now Drew and Dolph is awesome right now. And in my opinion, they are the top heels of WWE.
Yeah,
at least on Raw.
We know it's coming, but
I want to keep these two together. Keep these two together out as long as possible, because they're awesome for one another.
Because I think there's more money in the Drew McIntyre Dolph Ziggler feud than and have Seth Rollins move on to,
like, I know that even Daniel Bryan said himself that he really doesn't believe in long-term WWE's capability of long-term booking, but I just hope that these two stay together as long as possible. Fool?
I'm going Seth Rollins. I'm not convinced that something about this just doesn't feel right. Something about this whole thing just doesn't feel right about the timing. Something doesn't feel right about how this is going. Something about this, and now they're going in an Iron Man match. That ideally, at least as far as recent memory goes, these are kinds of feud enders, and I'm not convinced that. Yeah, does Seth Rollins deserve to go into a major world title match? Yeah, but then again, given Brock's schedule, I'm not convinced, and especially now that Braun is waiting in the wings with Money in the Bank. I don't know, something about it just really doesn't sit right with me. I'm going to go with Seth Rollins because he's like the equivalent of a Wawa coffee. Always the center of attention, and it'll burn you down.
Have you been to Wawa recently with all these Wawa references that you've been doing?
Oh, don't I wish.
All right. And you know what? Speaking of Braun Strowman and the Money in the Bank, waiting for Brock Lesnar to show up, why doesn't he just announce his cash-in?
Because he's going to surprise Brock at a UFC event, and he's going to be like, Braun, and he's just going to beat him down with his bigness.
Okay, Brian, how about a real answer?
The first time Brock Lesnar shows up to TV, Braun Strowman is going to challenge him at the next pay-per-view for the with the briefcase. Because if he does it any other way, if he has the briefcase and uses it in any other fashion than to demand a match immediately or in Brock's case at the next pay-per-view, demand a match immediately, not with a beatdown first, because why? You're Braun. That's it. If he does it any other way, I'm calling bullshit.
Okay. All right. Now we're moving on to SmackDown with the SmackDown Tag Team Championship, the Bludgeon Brothers versus the newly reunited Team Hell No. Jeff, who do you got with this one?
I'm gonna go with Team Hell No because they're like a Lunchables you find in the cold section of a Wawa. Nostalgic, but somehow just plain satisfying and deserving of the whole experience. Team Hell No wins.
I'm gonna agree, not go into food references, but I will say that they wouldn't bring.
Do you
these
hate
guys...
Lunchables?
What's up?
Do you hate Lunchables?
I hate everything that you like. No, just kidding. No, that's it.
I factually know that's not true. I almost want to go down this list and show you how it's not, but I'm not going to waste my time because I'm thinking of Lunchables. Go on.
What the hell is going on with this
You
episode?
I'm talking about Lunchables, damn it. Get the net.
You don't bring these two together the way that you did and set up a title match the way that you did if you're not gonna give them the title for at least a little bit. The Bludgeon Brothers will get it back very soon, but at least for one night, Team Hell No will band together and become the tag team champions.
It's funny. This is the other match that I was thinking was such a problem for me. Because, like you said, it's Daniel Bryan and Kane. They just reunited. Why bring them back together just to have them lose? But the one thing that definitely changed my mind about this is what they did on SmackDown with Miz TV. I think they're going to start with the Daniel Bryan Miz feud, leading into SummerSlam, with this one with Miz costing Daniel Bryan and Kane the tag team championship. Looks like they're about to win. Miz takes out Daniel Bryan, leaving Kane confused, knowing what the hell's going on, and that leads him to a Bludgeon Brothers finishing move to a title retain. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Bludgeon Brothers on this one.
I'm officially going to call Team Hell No Team Lunchables from now on.
Don't do that, ever.
I just did.
Never again.
I just did.
As much as I really do want Kane and Daniel Bryan to win again, especially after the show ended with them bringing back Pyro, I want them to win. Just like, thank you, Daniel Bryan. You brought something back that's been missed for so freaking long. I'm not dropping the F-bomb yet. But I think from also the hinting that they had with the Bludgeon Brothers and Sanity, with kind of like tension building between them, I'm actually looking at a possible fatal four-way at SummerSlam for the Tag Team Championship with Bludgeon Brothers, Team Hell No, New Day, and the Usos.
And that's when I said I either see the Bludgeon Brothers getting it back in my little thing, either getting it back the SmackDown after Extreme Rules, just getting it back and having the Miz do it that way, or the Bludgeon Brothers will get it back in the There's gonna be a multi-team tag team match at SummerSlam for the tag team titles. There always is.
I'm just not a huge fan. I'm not a huge fan of the hot potato, and I like that they haven't been doing that recently. I don't want them to, even with one title, I don't want them to do that. All right, moving on to the Raw main event. Hopefully not the event main event.
It will be.
It most likely will be. We got Roman Reigns versus Bobby Lashley.
And we go with the golden rule. If Roman Reigns is in the match and Brock Lesnar is not, Roman Reigns wins. So, yes, Roman Reigns is my pick.
Roman Reigns is my pick, too. I want Bobby Lashley to win. I like the things that he's been saying, and he's more into this feud than he ever was in the Sami Zayn feud. But
Well, yeah, because he doesn't have to deal with his three sisters bullshit.
Sisters.
Now he can actually be the badass that he was in Ultimate Fighting and Impact, and
I would like to see Bobby Lashley. I want to see him win because it would be a great. This would be a great transition to get him in that main event spot, get him from off the mid card into the big yard, if you will. But yeah,
when Roman's in the match,
when Roman's in the match, it's hard to go against him. So yeah, Roman.
This match is a lot like the hard-boiled eggs at Wawa.
Okay, we get it. Wawa. Just tell us your
do you
goddamn
know why?
prediction. I don't care why.
Well, I'm going to tell you anyway. It's because they smell horrible and I don't buy it, just like I don't buy this match.
Neither did the Boston fans chanting for the Celtics.
Whatever. I don't care about this match.
That's right. I went there. Celtic Celtics.
I am
That's what I'm
still
gonna call them
immensely
now.
bored by Bobby Lashley. This is the one and only time I feel like Roman Reigns' other dominance is permissible. So therefore, I have to go with Roman Reigns. This is going to be my pee break. And if I take a pee break at the very end of the show, then so be it.
I wonder what will be the pee break, because these last two matches will definitely be the third to last and the last. I wonder what would be the in between.
Hopefully it's at least 15 minutes so I can get a Wawa break.
It'll probably be Carmella versus Asuka.
Yeah, probably.
In between.
Yeah, with the shark cage? Yeah, probably. That'll be the match.
Either that or Balor and Corbin.
I look at that as one of the first few matches. But now we're on to hopefully what will be the main event, the SmackDown main event.
It won't.
AJ Styles defending the WWE Championship against Rusev.
And this is more like a feel-good thing for Rusev. They're giving him the shot because of the crowd reactions he's getting. There's no... There's a 5% chance that Rusev wins. Okay. There's that, it could happen, but it's not going to. AJ Styles, it's foregone to me that AJ Styles is going to win. This was a placeholder match that they gave to Rusev because of the crowd reactions. They wanted him to get a main event paycheck. They never planned on him winning the match. So yeah, AJ Styles will go into SummerSlam as the World Heavyweight Champion.
Cool.
AJ Styles is a lot like the mac and cheese.
I'm not going to ask him anymore.
Wawa.
I'm not going to ask him anymore.
It's the best possible part of the place, but it is still somehow criminally underrated. We all know how this is going to go. There's going to be a great match, but ultimately AJ Styles wins because he's the best. AJ.
As fun as it would be to have this one big twist of having Rusev win the title, even as a transitional champion, Vince McMahon is very high on AJ Styles right now, even to a point people are saying, why didn't I hire him years ago? So it looks like they're going to keep the title on AJ Styles. He's going to hold on to that thing for a long time. And hell, maybe he can actually beat out CM Punk's record and actually meaning something out of it other than what they're doing with Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, I can see Vince McMahon trying to actually... I don't want to say it's... I can see him wanting to be like someone who wants to be here, someone who loves the business. CM Punk, I want someone to have that record that actually wants it. So yeah, I see AJ Styles holding on to this for a long time until they possibly start that Daniel Bryan Miz World Heavyweight title feud.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever and whoever might beat him to begin that. But other than that, I don't see anybody beating him. If Shinsuke Nakamura didn't do it, then they got nobody on that roster that to me that could do it.
Yeah, it's really hard to think of someone. Well, I can think of someone. Maybe his SummerSlam opponent. Maybe it's Samoa Joe. Maybe he'll have his triumphant return to the TV and challenge AJ Styles at the SmackDown after Extreme Rules. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But yeah, that's it. That's our predictions for Extreme Rules, and that's what we think about the pay-per-view. Now we want to know what you all think. Who you think is gonna win their matches at Extreme Rules? Who's gonna take it to the extreme with their Mountain Dew and their skateboarding and their shenanigans that they're possibly gonna do? Because that's how WWE thinks.
And their Wawa.
Sure, and their Wawa.
Wawa is extreme.
Wawa for you. Wawa for you.
You don't even know.
Wawa for you. Wawa for everyone. Because why the fuck not? There you go. You finally got it out of me. But yeah, that's
what she said.
Make sure to...
she's a whore.
She's a whore indeed. Be sure to leave your comments below. Be sure to like this video. Subscribe to our channel. Be sure to like us on Facebook. Look us up at the Scholars of Wrestling Show. And if you want to get up close and personal with us, follow us on our Twitter machines. There's the Scholars of Wrestling at ScholarsOW. You could find me at the Avataric. Brian, where can they find you?
You can find me being a douchebag and posting pictures of Jeff's title in weird places at Atomic
Are you seriously going to continue with that?
Oh, I'm just getting started.
Oh boy! And where can they find you, Scholars of Wrestling champion who doesn't have his title?
You can find me constantly stalking the official Wawa Twitter at I'm Robbie Rage.
I'm hoping you actually do that.
I am totally gonna follow Wawa on Twitter. We're gonna be like this. We're gonna be like this.
I want you to post like creepy pictures of you standing in front of a Wawa. In a creepy hoodie, and just creepy face, or maybe just a Kevin Smith face, just going with Wawa right behind you.
I am the artist of standing outside of Wawas. You do not tell me my Wawa mastery technique.
I now know what I must do.
What? Bring the title once you steal the title from me again. Then you're going to take it to a Wawa?
Yes.
Well, then you too will know the wonders of Wawa. Therefore, it is a victory
all right.
for me.
That's the episode. Thank you all for listening, watching, listening, whatever. We know who we are because we're the Scholars of Wrestling, and you have just been schooled.
You're welcome. Let's get some Wawa.